Assalamualaikum and very good evening to everyone and Dr. Zul. Today I would like to present our group project from Sky Consultant, which is Environment Impact Assessment EIA. So I would like to tell you about, we are from group 1, from class 8I. So our title project is Cadangan Membina dan Menyiapkan Skim Perumahan Fasa 2D yang mengandungi fasa 7, iaitu 110 unit rumah teres satu tingkat yang terdiri daripada 2 unit rumah teres contoh satu tingkat di atas nombor plot 596 dan 597. 108 unit rumah teres satu tingkat di atas nombor plot 598705 di Bandar Seri Iskandar, Mukim Bota, daerah Perak Tengah, Perak Darul Rizwan. So, first of all, I will introduce my group member, which is we have manager of director, which is Muhammad Al-Hakim Alif Salihin. Then we have senior architecture, which is me, Nur Farhana binti Zamani. Then we have senior engineer, which is Muhammad Afiquddin bin Mat Azmi. Consultant Muhammad Irfan Haris bin Mat Fazil. Then marketing and sale manager, which is Siti Nur Aisyah binti Yahya. So I will go through to the chapter 1, which is project detail. So as you can see, our project name is Cadangan Membina dan Menyiapkan Skill Rumah Fasa 2D yang mengandungi fasa 7 unit 110 unit rumah teres satu tingkat yang terdiri daripada unit rumah teres contoh satu tingkat di Bandar Seri Iskandar, Mukim Bota, daerah Perak Tengah, Perak Darul Rizwan. So scope of study of this project is conducting EIA, which is Environmental Impact Assessment, to identify, assess and documenting the environmental and socio-economic consequence associated with the proposed expansions project. So our objective is to evaluate and identify EIA of the proposed project include on air, water, soil, biodiversity and human health. So our next objective is evaluate potential social and economical impact of proposed project. Third, we evaluate the effectiveness of measure to mitigate or manage potential negative impact. Fourth, ensure that the public and decision makers are well informed by providing a comprehensive and transparent account of the environmental impact assessment process and its finding. Fifth, identify the negative impact and develop mitigation measures to minimize pollution, environmental disturbance and nuisance during the development, construction and operation. And last, to comply with the country legal and regulatory requirement.
Hi, my name is Aisha. I would like to continue for the chapter 2, which is about the description of existing environment. For our site location, it is cover an area of 25.39 hectares and located at the center of Perak Tengah town. And it is surrounded by residential and educational facilities. And the common infrastructure that have in that area is also included, such as MBSI, telephone service, and pipe water supply. Next, I would like to present about project activity phase for our project. The first phase in our project is planning, which is the most important phase as it is to define the goals for the rest of the project. And the second phase for our project is pre-construction, which means that the project teams will obtain permits, hire contractors, purchase all the materials, and finalize the design. The third phase is construction. This is the most visible phase for the project, and it is important to manage a good quality, manage risk, and monitor the progress. And lastly, the post-construction phase. To complete the project and hand over the project to the client, close out the project, and evaluate the project performance. For safety and health at the welfare facilities, we maintain an optimal levels of cleanliness and hygiene because it is very important to regularly service and clean eating areas at the construction, because we want to avoid our workers from getting sick from food poisoning or anything else. And for the personal protective equipment, we strictly order our workers to use them because PPE is important at the construction site to protect our workers from a variety of hazards. As you can see at the picture, there is head protection, hearing protection, chapped pen and else. And for the safety training, the workers at our construction site must attend a safety induction training session before they can start working on site. And our contractor must set up a toolbox talks with the workforce and receive regular safety instruction. And for our senior contractor and supervisor, they need to participate a monthly meeting or seminar to make them fully aware of their own responsibilities for the safety of the workforce they control. Next, I will talk about legal and culture. For legal, in our project we use Environmental Quality Act 1974, EQA. The second one is Environmental Impact Assessment, Order 1987, EIAO, and OSHA 1994. And for the culture, we have safety culture, communication, and training.
Assalamualaikum and hello to everyone. I would like to continue this presentation, which is chapter 3. Chapter 3 involved in existing environment. Existing environment divided by 5 factors, which is physical environment, environmental issues, geology and soil condition, air, water and noise, and lastly human environment and social impact. So for our project, we choose the study area located at Sri Iskandar Perak, which is mainly in charge by Perak Tengah Municipal Council. Firstly, physical environment. What is the physical environment? The physical environment refers to the natural and human-made surrounding where living beings exist. It includes things like landform, climate, water bodies, vegetation, soil, and human-made structure. The physical environment is important for ecosystem, weather, resources, and human activity like agriculture and infrastructure. Secondly, environmental issues. So what is the environmental issues? Environmental issues are problems caused by human activity that harm the nature. Some major issues include climate change, air pollution, water pollution, noise pollution, and deforestation, biodiversity, resource depletion, land degradation, urbanization, overfishing, waste disposal. So solving these issues require everyone to take a part and take action, from the government to the people itself, to use the resources wisely, protect the habitat, and campaign against waste disposal, and make use the sustainable properly. Soil condition refer to the properties of the soil in area. It's including like how fertile the soil is, how much the water it can hold, and what the nutrient it has, and what the condition of the soil itself. Soil condition is important for growing plant and building things like road and building above the land. So in our project, we propose area is located within a 5 km radius of nearest agriculture and residential zone. The studies area terrain characteristic near landform which the elevation less than 12 meter. Next is water quality. Water quality refer to how good or clean the water is. It include the thing like chemical and pollutant in the water, how clear or dirty it look like, and if it is harmful bacteria or viruses. Water quality is important for drinking, swimming, and health of the plant and animal in the river, lakes, and ocean. To make sure the water is safe, it needs to regularly tested and treated if it necessary. So for our project, we study that water quality index, which is 70 in 2015, categorized B, C, and Class C. In 2016, water quality is 73 and Class ST, SP, Class 3. Next, which is air pollution or air quality. Air quality refer to how clean or polluted the air around us is. It depends on things like dust, smoke, gases, and chemical in the air. When the air is polluted, it can be harmful to breath and cause the health problem. Common pollutants include tiny particle, gases from the car and factory, and harmful substance. Protecting air quality involves reducing pollution, following the regulation, and use the cleaner technologies. For our project, we check it air quality index, which is value 51 to the 60s. So next, in environmental issues, air quality control refer to how noise affect the environment. Excessive noise can harm animals and disrupt their natural behavior. For example, construction and loud transportation can disturb animal habitat and migration pattern. To address the issue, we need to reduce noise pollution by using aquatic technology, building barrier, and keep noise activity away from sensitive area. By doing so, we can protect wildlife and preserve the natural environment. So for our project, noise quality, which is 65 dBA. And lastly, aspect which is human environment. What is the human environment? Human environment refer to the world created by human, including cities, building, infrastructure, structure, cultural aspects. Social impact are the effect that human activities have on people, on the society and society. Example include a change in lifestyle due to urbanization, economic benefit, inequalities, cultural change, impact on health, well-being, and issues of social justice and equality. It is important to consider and manage this impact to promote sustainable development, well-being, and fairness in society. For our project, we consider the urbanization will take the positive impact to development on the cities.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Faris. I'm going to explain about Chapter 4 Potential Impact Mitigation Measure. Okay, this chapter is talk about how the development and operation of the planning project can be done in a way that reduce pollution. It also gives a summary of the finding of the impact assessment on the basis of the recognized potential impact and the suggest ways to deal with them. The expected effect that will still be there after the recommended ways to deal with them have been fully used during the project's construction and operation. Phases are also given. The Environmental Management Plan (EMP) is used to break up the report well. Okay, next we got physical and chemical environment. There are 5 of them. First of all is soil erosion. Next is water pollution. The third is noise pollution and vibration. The fourth is air pollution, and the last is construction waste. I'm going to explain each one of them. Okay, for soil erosion, which is the soil structure of the land become weak, and the soil erosion occurs from time to time. The mitigation measure, first one is prevent erosion and sedimentation at the source. The second one is restore affect areas, and the lastly is inspect and keep control measure in good working. The second environmental is water pollution, which is the contaminant seepage from solid waste accumulation or inadequate sanitation system. The mitigation measure is sewerage treatment plant and storm water drainage. The third one is noise pollution and vibration, which is the excessive noise or an unpleasant sound that disrupt daily living, disturb the peace, and generate irritation and mental tension. The mitigation measure is for this problem is raise awareness. Next is precondition survey and restriction high vibration, and lastly is implement noise and vibration transference. Okay, for the next physical and chemical environment, we got air pollution, which is dust from demolition or construction activities and smoke from construction machineries. The mitigation measure is watering the site, vehicle wheel and body washing facilities, provide dust masks, and lastly covering aggregate or dusty material storage heaps. And the lastly for physical and chemical environment is construction waste, which is poor construction waste management on the job site. For mitigation measure, it is excess material will be moved to other new development sites, and the lastly is implement efficient waste management program. Okay, next is social environment, which is provide with many facilities nearby such as telecommunication, health, and education facilities. You need to have an indirect harmful influence.
For mitigation measure, which is fit high quality mufflers or silencers to engine powered machinery. Second, which is to train employee about the hazards of their job as well as emergency procedures. Environmental Quality Control Plan, which is an environmental quality control plan. EQCP is a document that describes the procedures and activities used to ensure that environmental quality standards are met. The purpose is to identify and assess potential environmental impacts, develop and implement measures to prevent or mitigate environmental impacts, monitor environmental conditions to ensure that standards are met, documents the EQCP processes. Green Building Index, which is GBI, is promote sustainability in the built environment and raise awareness about environmental issues and responsibility to the future generation. Purpose is to for the energy efficiency. This criteria assesses how well the building uses energy. Points are awarded for features such as energy efficient lighting, insulation, and HVAC systems. For indoor environment quality, this criteria assesses the quality of the air, water, and the thermal comfort in the building. Points are awarded for features such as ventilation, water quality, and thermal insulation. Sustainability, site planning, and management is the criteria assesses how the building is sited and how it is managed. Points are awarded for the features such as green roof, rainwater harvesting, and waste management. Material and resources assesses the materials used in the building and how they are managed. Points are awarded for the features such as recycled materials, low VOC paints, and water efficient appliance. Water efficiency assesses how well the building uses water. Points are awarded for features such as rainwater harvesting, water efficient fixtures, and greywater recycling. Lastly, for the innovation, awards points for innovative features that go beyond the requirement of the others criteria. For the environment contingency plan is a emergency plan of a procedure needs to be followed so that any action taken given as optimal result for the environment, human and materials. Purpose for this plan, which is to ensure that the action taken when an emergency occurs is quick and effective to environmental disaster. The impact of an emergency towards the environment can be minimized. And lastly, handling of emergencies during construction has taken into consideration the environmental considerations. Which is my next chapter 6, which is conclusion and recommendation. There are 3, which is water quality, we construction site to fulfill the Green Building Index GBI requirement, and air quality, which is sustainable strategies for managing the sites, and lastly noise quality. For the water quality, the wastewater from site will flow through the drainage system and enter the detention pond before being released into the nearby Kemasan River, which is in close proximity to the construction area. Water quality index WQI remains within a safe range, adhering to the INWQS standards. The discharge of water must comply with the standards set by the Department of Environment. So for the recommendation, we ensure the proper and continuous drainage is maintained in all excavated areas throughout the construction process. Regular inspection and monitoring of the river water quality are necessary, which is construction and maintenance of drainage system are crucial for flood management on the construction sites. For the air quality, several parameters have been adopted to assess the concentration limits of air pollutant and demonstrate the effective of the air quality. Parameters is nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter 10, and particulate matter 2.5. These parameters are nitrogen dioxide, carbon monoxide, sulfur dioxide, particulate matter 10, and particulate matter 2.5. The recommendation, which is implement dust control measure, utilize low emission machinery, we propose waste management and promote green practices. Lastly is noise quality, which is noise can arise from the usage of construction machinery, heavy vehicles and activity taking place in nearby residents. It is essential to closely monitor and supervise noise control measure through the identification and quantification of noise sources. For recommendation, we implement engineering controls, schedule and communicate noisy activities, provide personnel activity equipment, PPE, and lastly regular monitoring and compliance. Thank you. That's all from our group.